Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. Welcome to episode 7 of Bliss Tell already. Okay, I'm going to try and keep it short this week. I know I always say this, but this week I mean it. Got my GNT. It's Friday evening. Well, it's almost 5 p.m. in Hong Kong. So for me, that's gin o'clock. So cheers to the weekend, and here we go. So my highlights of the week. I did so much editing this week. My brain is actually hurting. I'm not a fan of editing. You know, if I could be a first draft writer, if writing first draft was everything I could ever do, I would be very happy. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So. In the beginning of the week, I focused on Release the Stars because, well, that's my upcoming novel. I got that back from my editor a while ago, but last week I wasn't able to do a lot of work on it because my family were here, and so I worked on that very hard. So now it's gone back to her, so she can do a copy edit, and then. She told me she would get it back to me by the end of the month, and then I'm sure there will be some more work to do on it, then proofread, and then it should be ready for publication before Christmas. So this one has been a long time coming. I'm not used to sitting on a book for that long because I wrote this book in June or May, I don't even remember, so I really want to release it now. And then the second part of the week, I focused on Seasons of Love. This was the third draft, so the second draft was Caroline. She went over it, asked some questions, prompted some changes here and there. So this was my third draft, but it was actually the first time reading it again after I wrote the first draft. I wrote the first draft when we just got back from Belgium, so that was the beginning of September. So that was the third draft. Actually, I enjoy. Well, if it's I enjoyed it for this book because I really enjoyed writing this book. Seasons of Love is I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but the main character is a 51-year-old woman, very uptight. So usually I write characters a bit closer to my age, main characters for sure. So I don't know, maybe it was just the fact that I was writing, slipping into the skin of someone quite far removed from my own personal situation. It was really a whole lot of fun to write that book. I can't wait for it to come out. But I just sent it to my editor, another editor, just 2 hours ago, so I can relax now because I'd actually anticipated to work on this book throughout the weekend and only be able to send it to her on Sunday. But Cheyenne, my editor, she said, "Oh, can you get it to me on Friday? Then I can get started on already this weekend." So, I made some extra effort, and well, it didn't require that much work actually in third draft. So very happy about that as well. So it's been even though I've been editing, which is my least favorite activity, it's been a pretty good week. So got all of that out of the way, and actually I don't have to work this weekend, so I'm very happy. Apart from that, I've been reading some really good submissions for my From Top to Bottom anthology. I think that anthology, which should be out in March. Yeah, in March. It's going to be really hot, that one. I've been reading submissions on the ferry, and I don't know, maybe not such a good idea to read them on the ferry. So, what else? Well, we've been plotting our spy novel a little bit more, so we're doing it slowly, but in a very different way than we would usually plot. So this is really a collaboration between the two of us, and we have come up with a little bit more, but as I've said before, it's very different than plotting a romance, so it's going to take some time. I plan to start writing this book mid-December, so we have some time to think about it. Because we have determined the background for our main character, the spy. So think about her for a bit. Think about her family, her background, all of that. So that's been fun. And this week on Facebook, I asked the question if for this spy thriller, which will not be romantic nor erotic. I don't know. Maybe I won't be able to control myself. We'll have to see about that. I asked the question if I should publish it under my pen name that I use now, Harper Bliss. Harper Bliss is not my real name. My sister is not called Sister Bliss. Sorry, that was a stupid joke. So if I should publish this book under Harper Bliss or come up with a different pen name, and there were quite a few people who chimed in on this, and we have we followed this discussion very closely, and Caroline and I have decided that it should be a pen name. So we've come up with one, but I'm gonna be a tease here. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet. I will tell you when the time is right, which should be soon enough. But we have some more work to do first. So those were my highlights of the week. I worked hard this week, which is normal after a week off. Everything went according to plan. So I'm happy. So next week I'll be writing again. Because I have 2 short stories to write. One for the Christmas mini anthology. That we do a mini anthology for Ladylit. So this will be again with Cheyenne Blue, Lucy Feldhouse, Lila Blake, and Elizabeth Bishop. And they've all sent me their stories already, but I haven't written my own yet. Doesn't matter, because I'm the boss. So I'm gonna write my Christmas story, and I also need to write my story for From Top to Bottom. So next week I'll be writing. Very happy to be writing again. Every time I take a little break, because writing, I'm a publisher. I do a lot of stuff, but writing is what I do, right? I define myself mostly as a writer. So looking forward to that. What else? Well, I think next week I will be editing the other stories that they sent to me for the Christmas anthology. I will be reading more From Top to Bottom submissions, because I need to send out acceptances and rejections, part of the job, as well by the end of next week, because at the end of next week the other mummy arrives. Caroline's mum is coming into town. She arrives next Friday, so she'll be staying with us in our flat actually, so it's going to be a bit cramped here. She'll be here for a week, and then we are going to Singapore for 5 days with her, so it's some more time off. But next week I'm not going to be taking time off the way I did with my family. I will be working the week when Caroline's mum is here, I hope. So, but there will be some time off at the beginning of December when we go to Singapore, which is fun. Singapore is an awesome city, by the way. The food is so good. It's very hot there, though, but people are very friendly. It's quite different from Hong Kong. So it's been a while since I've been there. So they have these hawker centers. It's like a cooked food center with different stalls, and you can just get something from everywhere and then just sit down at a table and just eat the most delicious food for really very cheap. That's what I call a holiday. It's fun. So so that's for next week. So I got one question. I hope you enjoyed my Q&A show of last week. I think I only got one question. This one is from Nikki. If anyone else asked the question and I didn't see it, I'm sorry. Send it to me again. I don't know. So the question is, do you have any guilty pleasures? Actors, actresses, movies, books, blah, blah, blah. So my first response to this when I saw this question, by the way, thank you, Nikki, for this question. I always appreciate it when you ask me a question. Very diligent. My first response was, well, my entire existence is practically a guilty pleasure. But then I thought about the question a little bit more, and I'm probably not looking up enough. My wife's going to be pissed with me because I don't look into the camera. So I have another sip of my GNT. So I guess by guilty pleasure you mean something that maybe I enjoy and I'm a little bit embarrassed about. So, well, I have a two song playlist on my phone and my Spotify, which is titled Ferry Sobfest, and it has two songs: Hello by Adele, of course, and Writing on the Wall by Sam Smith. And I have listened to these two songs so many times. Well, you would think I'd know them by heart, but I can never remember song lyrics. I don't know why. So maybe that's a bit of a guilty pleasure. But my wife, if you were to ask this question about me to my wife, she would say, well, The Voice. I love watching The Voice. I love watching, well, not all reality TV, like Kardashians and stuff like that. I've never watched it. But when you actually have to do something, like sing in The Voice, and like So You Think You Can Dance, I love So You Think You Can Dance. And Top Chef, I love it. I can't cook, but I love watching it. I love Padma Lakshmi as well. So The Voice is definitely my guilty pleasure. Don't post any spoilers because I'm behind, because I can never watch it when my wife is home, 'cause she refuses to watch it. She hates reality TV. She mocks me constantly for watching it. But I mean, the shows she watches like Nashville and The Fosters and Grey's Anatomy. I mean, who even still watches Grey's Anatomy? I know there's Calzona, but they're not even together right now. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but I watch it with her sometimes, but then I always say, oh, never again, So, we all have our guilty pleasure, but unfortunately we only have one TV, small apartment, so, it's not as if we can each go sit in our own room and watch our own show. But I love The Voice, and I've always said to my wife, my biggest dream in life is to get a 4-chair turnaround on The Voice. I mean, it's a stupid, silly dream, I can't sing. We've established this. But how awesome that must be. Also, I love that Blake and Gwen, they're getting it on. I love that. I didn't know, and it was actually my wife who told me, because her guilty pleasure is gossip sites. So I think it's awesome. So I have a favorite. I've called him. I don't know. It's Jordan Smith. I'm tipping him to win. But I'm behind. I've only seen one live show, and I know they've had a few, so I need to catch up on that. So I think I could safely say The Voice is my guilty pleasure, Nikki. And well, as far as books are concerned, I do read a lot of self-help non-fiction, and these books never make it to my Goodreads shelf because I don't post them there because, it's not so good for my image. It's just silly, but it's how it is, I want to be approachable and all of that, but, I can have some secrets too. So I guess these two are my biggest guilty pleasures. So I also really love 80s music, but that's not a guilty pleasure. That's just because it's good, right? So moving on. No more questions. Keep sending me your questions. I love it when you send me questions. I'm just looking at my notes here. Maybe I have another sip of GNT. Cheers. Well, Caroline and I, we just finished watching the entire box set of Friday Night Lights. Oh, it's so good. Mr. and Mrs. Coach, they are the best TV couple ever. I enjoyed it a lot. Actually, I saw the 3 first seasons a few years ago. Oh, I cry so much. If you ever want a good cry, all you have to do is watch an episode of Friday Night Lights. And it's so silly because I'm from Europe, and American football, it means absolutely nothing to me. I mean, well, I know a little bit of how it works now because I watched the show, but I mean, I don't even know why they call it football. That's my reaction when someone says American football. I mean, they don't use their feet. They don't use their feet to kick the ball. They play with their hands. Anyway, aside from that, it's so good. But my absolute favorite TV show is Homeland. Oh, Homeland is so good. I love anything with, that is good with, because there are a lot of very shitty spy shows and spy novels. But I love Homeland. I love the previous season and this one. It's set in Berlin. It's so good. Oh, watch Homeland. Um, I've I've always enjoyed spy thrillers, and I've been trying to read a bit more of them lately to because I want to write one, but I haven't. It took me a while to find a good one, but now I found one that I really enjoy. I forgot the author's name, but the title of the book is All the Old Knives. It's very good. So oh, and of course Adele's new album is out, but I haven't listened to it yet. I have it ready. It's on my phone, so later, like in a half an hour, I have to catch the ferry, and I'm gonna be listening to it because I didn't want to listen to it during the day because to work, don't want to indulge myself too much. But I also love the second single that came out this week. I think When We Were Young, A Touch of Nostalgia. I think that always does well. So love that. So I'm gonna be listening to the new Adele on the ferry later. Oh, I can't wait. Look forward to it so much. So this weekend, because I was supposed to work, I don't have anything planned except for tonight. I'm going to a birthday party, but be home early and all of that. Because I'd planned to work all weekend, but I don't have to because I finished my work already, which is just an awesome feeling. So I'm just gonna relax because the coming weekends up until the end of the year, they're gonna be crazy because we have Mom and then Singapore and all of that. So I'm so sorry. It's the GNT. So this weekend we're just going to relax, maybe do a hike. It's still so hot in Hong Kong. It's not supposed to be this hot anymore, but I think next week temperature is going to drop. But yeah, I mean November usually is a hiking month. There's a lot of really good hiking in Hong Kong, so may do that. So I think that's about it for this week. I don't know how long it is. I'll see you later. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a really great weekend. Send me your questions, send me anything, and peace out.